welcome to the Big Scuba podcast. Thanks for downloading. Time to get on board and let's go diving. Mind those ropes.
Hello, my name is Helen Webb and I'm one of the co-founders of Sea Changers.
And my name's Rachel Lapata and I'm the other co-founder of Sea Changers.
And we're here with Gemma and Ian on the Big Scuba podcast to talk about how small grants can have a really big impact and the work that our charity Sea Changers does.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Big Scuba podcast. My name is Ian and I am one of the co-hosts of this podcast. And with me is...
Hello, my name is Gemma. I'm the other co-host and welcome to the Big Scuba podcast.
Welcome everyone. Right from the top, let me tell you these episodes are sponsored by the lovely people at 90 because their service is...
Beyond technical.
Yes. Yeah, point away. So coming up, we've got a bit of news. This is our birthday episode.
It is, yeah. We'll
6 years. Happy
6
birthday
years.
to us. Happy birthday.
Happy big birthday.
Yeah, everyone's singing. But anyway, so 6 years in the making has brought us to this point. So
yes,
here we are.
Birthday, officially, we say it's the 4th of February.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Jem.
Yeah, happy birthday to you, co-host.
Thank you. And we've got some guests for you. And but before we get to our guests, let me tell you what you've downloaded. So first off, thanks for downloading this episode. And these episodes are about people who are connected to the watery world. We particularly like if they come with some kind of different connection, maybe something new that we've not thought of or heard of before. So tech divers, of course, explorers, astronauts,
sculptors,
chefs,
photographers, filmmakers.
Artists.
Yeah. People that have written books that have come on.
Yeah, service personnel and ex-service personnel.
Yeah, and people that just want to make a difference or are enthusiastic about the underwater world.
Which is funny enough, are the guests that we've got lined up for you today do exactly and have done and are doing exactly that.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to talk to two ladies, Helen Webb, MBE, Rachel Lapata, MBE, and they set up a charity called Sea Changers because they want to help people make a difference to their shoreline, their sea area, and yeah, just do some good.
Yeah, and our first MBEs, I believe, on the podcast, I believe.
Yeah.
And what does MBE stand for?
Do you Member of the Order of British Empire. Is that right?
Yes, which I think is an old heraldic type of award.
Yeah,
what's been given for a number of years for good work and good deeds and recognition of good service.
Yeah, which is a very nice thing to have. And
it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. And you have it for always. Once it's awarded, it stays with you, which is good.
Yeah. So we'll be talking to those guys a bit later. I actually met them for the first time at the end of last year when they came to do their dry suit speciality. So I met them at Stony Cove. They live right near Stony Cove.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're on holiday in Norfolk, they popped in last summer. They popped into Crystal Sea Scuba in Norwich and had a chat with Polly about shore diving. And while they were there, I think the conversation must have swung round to them doing their they've been diving for like, I don't know, 25, 30 years.
Yeah, look, 30 odd years and never done a dry suit dive. So they took the opportunity to do it. And obviously now they can partake in some cold water diving and hopefully more UK diving.
Yeah. And, many of us dive all year round and for all sorts of reasons. And but there's many divers who don't have their dry suit. So, give it a go. Have a speak to your local dive centre if you're not, or if you're in a BZAC club, have a word with the club and say, hey, why haven't I done my dry suit?
And it's worth doing. It's a good experience. It's a, different way slightly of diving, not in a wetsuit, but, in terms of buoyancy. And it also opens up it, more opportunity to explore UK inland lakes.
Some
And
people don't like diving in a wetsuit. Can you believe it? And some people do actually prefer, even in summer, they prefer having a thinner base layer and still keeping their dry suit on because that's what they feel most comfortable in, you
well,
know.
I
And
can kind of
fair enough.
get why people would prefer to be in a dry suit because you come out of the water dry.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's
That's the
now
key.
that's the that yes, that's a
Yeah,
good point. That is the idea. It doesn't always work out quite
no.
like that. No.
But also that brings us on to the importance of getting your dry suit serviced kind of
Get
this time of
always
year.
got to check your kit
Yeah,
regularly.
yeah, keep it maintained. But yeah, equally, we're fans of dry suit diving, but we also like doing semi-dry diving as well with
Oh
our
yeah,
bigger,
lovely
thick,
O3 semi-dry. Yeah.
yeah. So, but it just depends, yeah, what conditions you're diving in. And there are people, our local club have been diving at Stony Cove, all in their dry suits, and
Yeah.
look like they've had some fantastic dives.
Yeah, yeah, some really good viz at the moment. And if you're not diving at the moment, for whatever reason, good time now to get your dry suit serviced. You should get them serviced. Get your regs serviced if they haven't been done for a year or so, or maybe 50 dives, and you thought probably now's a good time to get them serviced. They'll go through everything, make sure it's all done, and
Mm,
come back and it's all fixed and new innards and things like that. Because a lot of the regs are only these tiny little bits of plastic and stuff and rubber
yeah.
grommets and things, and they all wear out and get all sticky and stuff. So it's a good time to get your regs serviced.
Yeah, and
Um,
especially if you mix between saltwater diving and freshwater diving, it's
yeah,
the salt, yeah, it does make a difference to your gear. And if you haven't washed it down properly, you could, yeah,
yeah.
be a bit
Or
crusty.
a lot of people service them themselves. So you can get I know Paddy and I'm pretty sure Bezak do a similar course, but you can do a spec so you can know what to do and how to service your regs. I personally don't. I chop them in. That's an independent pair of eyes that go through your
Mm.
hoses and your regs and everything, and it's done. And plus, they've got the kit. So
Yeah,
and the time.
and they're doing it regularly as well, so they become the specialist. So yeah, so
Yeah, and
get
also your BCD. It's also or you wing. It's always a good time to get that inspected and make sure that's all working as it should be. So
yeah.
now's a
And if
good
you've
time.
if you've had your stuff stored in the garage, get it all out, give it an airing, make sure, yeah, it's all spick and span, and then you're ready to go and no surprises when you get to a dive site and you found a mouse has chewed through your boot or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Um, on other news, I did see some sad news that we've lost Richard Lahn, OBE. So our thoughts with him, with his friends and family, and one of the big names. Been over the years done many things involved in the lifting the Mary Rose.
mm,
And there's a whole list, and there's lots on social media about his passing. If you want to look him up, done a
and
bit of
discovered
book.
so many wrecks, 55,000 wrecks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
massive.
it's
Yeah,
huge. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, a big name in the diving world. Sadly, gone to clearer waters. So
yeah.
our thoughts are with his friends and family. Well,
Yeah, and also mention we do link up with Waterhall. I've been on the beach quite a lot recently, and there seems to be quite a increase in litter on the beach. I think we've had some high
you
tides
mean
and
what from people dropping, or do you mean what's
no
been swept in?
coming off the sea, like bits of fishing gear, sort of fishing line,
All right.
and litter, and it just looks. I think we've had tides and high tides as well, and it's just left it all washed up on the beach. So,
Mm.
and I've seen people bagging stuff up. And even I went on a hike yesterday and there were some really big piles of rubbish and even big like pots of, like the whelk pots and the trays that they put the fish in. And you think, where have they come from? They've just been thrown overboard.
They must break loose, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. But have a look at Waterhall because there's some great litter picking equipment. They do the hoops to keep the bags open. They do the grabbers.
Yeah.
They do knives as well to cut line down or cut gear down, so it's a bit easier to manage. But yeah, really good products, all made from recycled
Tubs as
fishing
well,
gear.
don't they? Do these big old tubs?
Yeah, 52-litre tubs that you can put in the back of your car to store stuff or help, store your dive kit as well. And they're waterproof as well, so you could
Yeah.
keeps stops the car getting wet and damp. So yeah,
Sunglasses, glasses,
they do a cup
and
now, a coffee cup from Circular and Co. as well. That's all made from recycled fishing gear as well.
pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm.
We've been I think we've been an affiliate of theirs for a number of years, haven't we now?
Yeah, probably five, getting on for five.
Mm.
It's quite.
Which brings us round to our birthday. So 6 years,
Yep,
6 years, nearly 160 countries.
over
First
160.
episode
Over.
over now.
Yep.
Uh, our first episode was brought out on the 4th of February 2020, which was literally just before we went into then lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is like another world away, wasn't it? When we had the three girls on to talk about their diving careers.
Yeah, I think they'd been at the Go Diving show that
Yeah.
year. So it was Grace Westcarth. She was still at school at that point.
Yeah, I think she's about 15 then, wasn't
Yeah. And then May Doricott, she was at uni, and Inga Cresswell, and I think she was possibly still at uni as
she? Yeah, I think
well.
they both were. Yeah.
And they were all studying, or Grace was really into diving and diving with her dad. Inca was really into photography and filmmaking, and May was as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a really good first episode with three guests.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And wow, all that time ago. So we want to say thank you very much for sticking with us, and we'll be moving on again this year, and doing some more and same on.
Yeah, yeah. So this is our 220th episode. So you've got all those episodes way back to listen to.
And if we did a rough calculation, let's say argument's sake, each episode is an hour average. There, give or take. That's like 220 hours. What's that? 10. It's only 10 days of solid chat.
Do you think people could put up with us for solid
I couldn't put up
24
with
hours
for 10 days. I'll be going, no.
No.
I like peace and quiet. There's a lot to be said for peace and quiet.
Yeah, but there you go. You could listen to us maybe once or twice a week and work your way back through the catalogue or forwards.
That'll keep people busy, won't it?
Yeah, but I must admit, there are podcasts that I listen to now that I have gone back and listened to previous episodes quite way back.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, if they're really good and they keep you sort of entertained, then it's good to
Well, that's
go
true.
back.
Yeah, I've found a new one myself actually this week, and that was for people who like history, World War II history. And I've been listening to that, and that is I've lost it now. Where's it gone? It's typical, isn't it? Oh, here it is. Hold on. What's this one? No, that's not it. World War II pod. We have ways of making you talk, and that's got us with Al Murray and James Holland in. And if you like World War II stuff, which I do, a lot of history, and if you know Al Murray, who's very funny, both of them are very funny together, actually, and they kind of chat really.
Yeah,
And
well,
although it's very informative, but it's kind of light-hearted chat, and they kind of take the mix sometimes out of some, as they do in our
yeah.
British way of humour. So it's very good.
Yeah, and I think podcasts are much more accessible now, and they're talked about more. So, and that's
Oh,
why
definitely. Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
yeah. And there's such a I think, yeah, I listen to quite a varied.
Well, who listens to the news these days? It's all
I
about
know.
Epstein and all this other stuff. And so, it gets bit much. So you can switch off, listen to a good dive and podcast, and listen to us chat away forever
Yeah,
anyway.
while you're in the car journeying to your dive site, or I have
On the way to the
podcasts.
gym, have you got your fitness on the go at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. Or
And talking about long trips, you see, people think we just chuck these things together, but we plan, we link. So coming up for your diaries, book, get your tickets. So first off, we got the caravan camping and motorhome show at the NEC. That's on the 17th to 22nd of February. So that's in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to be going probably the Wednesday, I think.
Mhm.
Generally when we go. So if you're there, let us know. We'll come say hello, or vice versa. Have a
Yeah,
cup of tea, coffee, and we'll
have a
have a
cup of
look around
tea.
the camp.
Yes, and again, we see more and more divers with camper vans, motorhomes at dive sites because it's just a good vehicle to put your dive gear in. And we've had experience of camper vans and motorhomes testing them out with
Yeah, yeah,
dive equipment. So
we have.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm sure, and there might even be some paddleboard companies at this coming one. I think they're a bit.
yeah. It's a lot more outdoorsy type stuff, isn't there? I
Yes,
think
yeah, because it's where we met
as
a
well.
previous guest, Joe Mosley, the big paddleboarder lady.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
yeah.
also coming up, our yearly pilgrimage to the Go Dive Show, which is on the 28th of February to the 1st of March at Stoneleigh Park. So there's lots in social media right now about some of the speakers and also about getting your tickets. So again, get your tickets. Don't leave it to the last minute. And yeah,
Yeah.
let us know if you're going to go.
Yes,
That'd
and
be
it's
good.
definitely a good day or a good weekend out. There's lots of stands there. There's a pool you can do a try dive in and some
Yeah.
breath work, and there's always plenty of good food as well there.
Lots of good speakers. I believe Mr. Backshaw's there again this year.
Andy Torbett.
I think there's a few others. There's a couple of ladies speakers as well, aren't there? I've
Yes,
seen.
yeah, yeah. I think they've got a UK diving area as well, which
Yeah,
is really good. And then obviously speakers from around the world as well.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
and all the usual array of companies and selling their wares.
Travel companies as well, they tend to feature quite highly. So if you're looking for your next diving holiday or diving resort or liveaboard, then yeah, you can take a wander around the stands and see what deals you can even
Yeah,
book a holiday on the day.
yeah, and I would go, because it's a good place to go and see, and if we usually go for 2 days, but you can see, everything on the foot on one day, and sometimes the speakers are repeated,
Mm.
but sometimes you get different speakers on day two to day one. But it's good atmosphere, isn't it? It's always a friendly
Yeah,
atmosphere.
nice
Uh,
seeing familiar faces or previous guests as well.
Loads of car parking. There's no problem. There's never any problems with car parking. Loads of places where you can eat and drink and be merry. Good, it's friendly for families as well. Um, what else? Good access for disabled. What else do you need?
Yeah,
There's
and it's
there's
not
something for
difficult to get
everybody.
to. It's plonk in the middle of the country, so very accessible for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So uh, go. I can't recommend it enough. So go, go, go. Get your
Yeah,
ticket.
go diving.
I think. Oh no, there's one other bit of news I was going to mention. I was reading this week that where is it?
It's about kiss rebreathers, wasn't it?
Kiss Rebreathers. Yeah, so good news to them. Congratulations, guys, for all their hard work. Their Sidewinder 2 has finally been CE approved. It was announced at the boot show.
Hmm.
So well done to them, and lots of hard work, lots of testing been involved, and yeah, brilliant news. And Mr. Widman, I believe that's what he dives on as well, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
He's
I
been
saw,
involved in some of the testing.
yeah, There was an article I saw online about the different configurations of rebreathers, like on the chest, on the side, on the back, and you think,
Yeah.
wow, it's just like, yeah, all these different ways that you can wear it that fit.
Hybrid systems as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So really interesting.
And we had a little dive on a rebreather as well, didn't
Yeah, I
we?
think that must
Enjoyed it.
be nearly 2 years ago I did mine. I know it was cold when it
Yeah.
was stony.
With Mr. Scott Laddyman. So
Mm.
if you fancy a try dive, look him up, and you'll see that he offers try dives, and we had a
Yeah,
really good time with Scott, didn't we?
we did. Even if it's not something you think you're going to go down that line, it's a good experience to do just to understand the mechanics of a rebreather and the difference in buoyancy.
Yeah, we did
As
ours at Stony Cove, didn't we? But you
mm,
can do it in the pool if you want a bit of a warmer try. I think you did yours.
it
Did
was,
you do yours in February as well?
yeah, it was cold, definitely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
mine did as well. And that's when my dry suit was leaking, and I had to call her after about half an hour because I was just getting soaked and wet. You know,
Yeah.
when you got a dry suit that's actually filling with water.
Well, that brings us nicely on to talking dry seats with Rachel and Helen, doesn't
Oh, yeah.
it?
There we go. Another little link that we've put together. So there we go. So
Yeah.
thanks for sticking with us seriously for 6 years, and we'll be here for another 6 years and chatting more. And we've got lots more guests lined up. And yeah, and we'll say thank you always to Narc at 90 for sticking with us as well. So
Yes, yeah. Don't forget to
we're
look
off to
up.
see tomorrow as well.
We are. We're on a little road trip tomorrow, but don't forget to look up Narked at 90. Their website is in the show notes. Um, Recreational right through to technical diving. They're there to help with all your needs.
They said, yeah. So let's get our guests on, shall we?
Yes, so here we are, and we are going to talk to Helen and Rachel from Sea Changes. Excellent. Well, welcome to the Big Scuba podcast. We're, yeah, really
Thank you.
glad to have
Yeah.
you on.
Welcome,
Very
welcome.
excited to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, I first met you both up at Stony Cove. I met on the Sunday. I'd been
Yeah.
up there as a dive master for Polly Crystal Sea Scuba in Norwich, and we met because you'd come to do your dry suit. So you've been diving for was it about 25 years? You've been
It
diving a long
was.
time, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but this is your introduction and to diving in a dry suit for the first time, and that is how we met.
That's right.
Which we'll get to your individuals diving careers. But Helen, let's start with you first. What
Okay.
does being underwater mean to you? And then the
I
same
think,
question to Rachel.
Mm.
yeah, for me, being underwater is about freedom. It's about switching off and switching on to a totally different environment. It's about not being able to be contacted by anybody. And it's about just being able to really immerse myself in, you know, fabulous beauty and otherworldliness for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and how about
That's
you, Rachel?
I suppose the thing that comes to mind for me is that if I think about it, it's not this isn't something that people do very regularly, but if you ever try and think about like the top 10 moments of your life,
Mm,
I would say probably 9 out of 10 have been underwater. That's what diving gives you, I think. You know, it'll just be these moments, like incredible memories of something you've seen or experienced underwater that you don't get when you're not underwater. Simple
Yeah,
as that.
no, that's good. So, how did your diving journeys start? Have you been long time divers?
So we started diving about 25 years ago, and actually we'd never ever thought of diving, but we went on holiday with two friends of ours, Graham and Paul, and we always whenever we went away, we tried something new. And Paul said, "Oh, why don't we try to scuba dive? I think it'd be really great." And we were like, "Oh, okay, we'll give it a go." And we did our training at Stony Cove. We did the classroom training at Stony Cove.
But we did a try dive
Oh,
first.
we did
Yeah.
a try dive, and we all loved it. We did try dive in Spain. We all loved it. Thought it was great. Came back, booked on the training, did our classroom training. Planned to go to Mexico to do our open
Okay.
water dives. At that point, we already knew that Graham wasn't a keeper. He had not enjoyed any of the training and wasn't going to carry on. Went to Mexico, and I think we both felt really quickly, oh my God, this is amazing. We're going to stick with it. Paul wasn't quite sure, and actually, neither of them continued diving, but we were both totally smitten. And I think we then from then on, it was just kind of every year we made, we sort of, just started diving more regularly and got into it and dived all over the place, all over the world, really.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, so basically warm water diving until quite recently.
We've done a little bit of diving in the UK, but in, the sort of warmest months in a semi-dry suit. So we had done dived in Pembrokeshire and Cornwall, and dived in, well, water that now I might think would be better for dry suit, just in Europe in the Med and stuff like that.
That was rot.
But maybe when I was in my 30s, I didn't feel like I needed to be in a dry suit. But now I'm not sure I'd tackle it.
But we definitely, I mean, we've always known that there's lows to see in the UK. We've never been any doubts about that. We've snorkeled in the UK and swum a lot in the UK waters. But I think more recently we've really felt like, come on, there is so much to see. We're missing a trick. We're trying to fly less and think about our carbon footprint. So the dry suit, and it was like, okay, we can't ignore it forever. We're just going to go for it. So in a way, we see diving in the UK as a kind of a really good complement to, we'll still do warm water diving because we can't resist it. There's nothing better than going in the water, with a 3 mil or whatever, or with shorts and a scratch vest. But that won't stop. But alongside that, we're going to try and be really brave and put on that dry suit and make it more regular.
Be brave, be brave.
We can do it, can't we? And I know I wasn't very good, but I can do it. I can.
Yeah, it's nice being cozy and not being wet when you get out of the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I take your word for
we
it.
might need to get our own measured up dry suit to experience that properly, I think.
So do you think you might dive all the way through the winter?
Oh no way, Ian. Absolutely not.
Not that
You
hard.
never know. Not this year. I think. To be honest, I think we have said we would like to get another couple of dives in before the end of the year. So just to consolidate our training, because it makes sense to do that, of course, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then we thought, start again, trying to do a load more dives, maybe sort of March onwards, and then sort of get into it. I think we need to kind of build ourselves up. You never know, we might become complete converts to Stony.
Yeah, maybe.
We're 20 minutes away.
We live really near Stony Cove. So
Yeah. Well, Stony's great for, training and doing all that stuff, but there's some great places still to dive, especially on the south coast. All all through the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're actually in the south coast. We've come down from Leicester. We're staying on the south coast in Worthing, and we've been talking to some divers today. So yeah, I mean, we know that there's loads going on here. So
Yeah. It's just a matter of the weather, isn't it? Because we thought about going diving up at Stony tomorrow actually, and getting honey in the water Saturday. But it looks like the weather forecast is due to be quite wet this Saturday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I thought, with it being cold and quite wet all through the day, I thought that probably best one to leave it this week. So for honey, so otherwise comes hard work, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
talk to us in 2 years and see where we are.
You might be hardy dry suit divers.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
You just need some really good thermals, and I think that's probably, it's just when you get out of the water, I suppose it's when you're topside, that's when it all gets a bit like
Yeah. I know we're missing out by not doing it though. So
and the viz is good at the minute. The viz is good.
Yeah.
And then plus you got all the other side like Cape and Ray Vobster as well. They're worth a visit as well over the winter.
Yeah.
Okay, well keep pestering us, Ian.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. And then you got the Farns. The Farns is one to do as well. Lundy. So many other places, isn't there?
Yeah, Lundy, Swanage Piers, an easy dive, isn't it? Yeah. So
Definitely like to do those. What about up in Scotland? Loads of places. Probably not now.
In the locks. Yeah.
Locks,
not
yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Do the locks. The locks have got some good viz at the minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Need a
there's,
good
yeah.
torch for them.
Okay.
You know what? We've got a reasonable touch. I think that side of it we've got covered. It's just the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Narked at 90, the cutting edge pioneers in the world of diving equipment. Meet the founders, John Routley and Brent Hudson, who have logged thousands of mixed gas dives over the past 3 decades. About 20 years ago, these experienced technical divers combined their passion for diving and engineering skills to create Narked at 90. Whether you're new to diving and ready to take it up a notch, have a fair amount of experience, or are considering a transition into technical diving, we highly recommend Narked at 90. They're ready to advise on the best equipment and setup for your personal and commercial needs. Narked at 90 also has extensive hands-on experience with shearwater and ratio dive computers, being the longest serving UK service centre for these brands. They're ready to offer technical support, servicing, repairs and upgrades for all shearwater and ratio computers past and present. In addition to shearwater and ratio, Narked at 90 stocks and supports many other brands such as DiveSoft, JJCCR, Hollis, Revo and Kiss rebreathers. The diving community is always enthusiastic about Narked at 90 and it's easy to see why. Here are just a few reasons. Full head servicing for rebreathers from various manufacturers, bespoke cable assemblies, advice on specific fitting requirements, suggestions and guidance for home builds, computer laser cutting and engraving, CNC milling and turning, pressure testing to simulate 400-metre dives. We're thrilled to partner with Narked at 90, a company that has ignited so much passion for diving and has been incredibly supportive and innovative in producing and selling dive equipment. Visit narkedat90.com to see why they're a renowned name in diving. Stay updated on their insights and offers by following them on social media. Just search for Narked at 90 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and hit that follow button. So we obviously know that you're part of Sea Changers, so that's some of the subject of the podcast. So how did that all come about?
Well, it came about indirectly from diving. And I don't think we knew when we first started diving that it was going to completely kind of change our lives in the way that it did, not only in terms of, obsessively trying to dive every time we're off work, but that actually it changed our interest and our understanding in the sea and what was happening to the sea. And from that, we started to go to places that we would go back to repeatedly. We like diving places in Europe, particularly Gozo off Malta. If you've been there, we dived there quite a number of times. At various different places that we went actually, and sometimes we're lucky enough to go to the Caribbean, and we just started wherever we went, we just started noticing over maybe about 10 years how things were changing. So we started diving in 2000. We started Sea Changes in 2010. Over the course of that time, we just was getting more and more worried. We just could, go to places where there have been loads and loads of sea life and fish, and you'd go back 3 years later and there's absolutely nothing there, or there was plastic and pollution and oil and all sorts of things. We just could see it, and we felt very. Then we started to read about it. We read a book that probably a lot of your listeners will have read, called The End of the Line by Charles Clover. Started to understand what industrialized fishing was doing to the oceans. It was just like this building of knowledge based on diving originally. And where we live, we're landlocked. And we just kind of felt like we wanted to do something. And we had this idea, both of us from a business background. Why aren't marine-based businesses, including dive businesses, being asked to contribute something back to this environment, and why aren't they enabling that, that sort of grassroots conservation to happen? We felt, really concerned about it, really felt that people would buy into this sort of idea that we had for Sea Changers. As it turned out, initially we were wrong about that. I mean, we went into it in a purely naive way, like this has got to be, something that people will get on board with, and it took a really long time for people to get on board with it, but eventually, through sort of perseverance and determination and not being willing to give up even when at times we wanted to, eventually it has, over probably the last sort of 5 years really started to take off. Um, and the idea is really simple: is we bring the money in through business partnerships, foundations, and trusts, and we give the money out to communities to do marine conservation that they feel is the right kind of conservation for where they live and where they love. A lot of those people are divers. Some of them are, open water swimmers. Some of them are surfers. Some of them are just conservationists. Some of them are, children, kids, people who love the sea. But it's all about the communities themselves saying, this is what our beach needs, or this is what our part of the sea needs, or and communities of interest too. You have the cuttlefish people who love cuttlefish and want to preserve them and are obsessed with that, and might be scientists who want, funding for that kind of thing too, as an example.
Yeah. So
Sounds
people
good.
have to put in like an application and like put their
Yeah.
case forward to, and do they have to say how much funding they're looking for, or is it kind of on a case by case basis?
They do. We have a number of different funding streams, so I'll give them a plug because actually, again, people on this, if they listen to this, might be interested in applying or might have known projects that might be relevant. So we have a small grants program which you can apply to. You can apply to tomorrow, Gemma. So that's for grants up to £500, and we have primary sort of areas we focus on, which are direct action like cleanups, education, species protection. And what's the other one, Rachel, has gone from my mind? I said education. No, I said education. So there's a fourth area I'll come back to. And then we have a main grants fund, which covers those broad areas again, but with grants up to £2,500. And you can apply for that twice a year. So we're just assessing grants now. Research was the other thing I couldn't think of. And we also have a coastal water fountain. So again, at your local beach, if you want to apply to have a fountain put in so people can refill and reduce this plastic, we run that program once a year. It's a great program. We've now fitted over 50 fountains around the UK coast, which is great.
When you say you put them in, does that include the whole connection up to the mains as well?
No, so a local community will maybe say, we think our beach needs somewhere for people to refill their refillable bottles.
Yeah.
They can apply for a grant of up to £2,500, and that will cover most of the cost of the hardware itself. But they have to in order to get that grant, they have to show that they got the permission of the landowner, that they have a mains connection, that they can pay for the water if necessary. So usually they're connected up with the local council or the parish council, and that there's a maintenance and a water quality testing program in place. So that's one of the grant streams that needs a bit of forward planning. But quite often, like each year, we'll get contacted by people who say, we want one on our beach. And we'll just point them to the guidance, and maybe they won't be able to apply that year, but by the time the next round comes, they've got all the plans in place and they can apply.
And then there's a couple of other funds that people can go for, so I'm going to keep going very quickly. There's a fantastic fund that we run this year for the third time called the Innovation Fund, and that's for projects that have never been tried and tested. So it might be research, it might be a proof of concept, it might be just a new approach to a problem that's again never been tried before. And this year I think we're giving out over £80,000 into that fund. They're slightly bigger grants, aren't they? They can be anything up to about 17,500.
Did you say you've given out 80,000?
This 83,000 this year to that just that fund, yeah.
Wow.
And then the final fund that I've mentioned, although there's lots of other bits of money here and there, is we have a fund that's just based in Scotland, which we love, and we'd love to see roll out, which is called the Scottish Learning Fund. And the idea behind that fund is that projects who've done something amazing, and they might be based on the Isle of Mull, and maybe someone on the Isle of Skye knows about it, but can't afford to get over to them to find out. They want to learn from that project. They can apply to us for funding, and it might be travel costs, it might be about organising a webinar, it might be organising a meetup in some way. So projects can learn from each other, and actually they're not reinventing the wheel. And in Scotland in particular, because it's a lot of the projects are quite disparate around the Highlands and Islands. That fund is a really fantastic source of money where people can kind of learn from
each other.
good practice from each other. And we'd love to see that around the UK because there's no reason why we couldn't roll it out. We just haven't got enough money to roll it out. So let's do
Yeah,
it.
that's
Come on,
really
I've never
good.
heard of you before.
I don't know, Ian. Where have you been? Where have we been?
I know. I know. So how are people finding out about you? How do people get to know about you generally?
I think I mean I'd like to say that we're probably well known amongst kind of marine conservation groups. So probably I think all the wildlife trusts will know about us, and there are a lot of groups, and we don't. I should say we don't fund individuals. Like an individual says, I want £500, please. If they're not going to get that into their personal bank account. These are community initiatives, community groups, schools, primary schools, secondary schools, other charities, those kinds of people are the recipients of this. And I think in that world of marine conservation organisations or just general local conservation organisations, hopefully we are quite well known. And I say when I talked about it being divers, there are quite a lot of divers groups, local sea search groups who want funding. We have definitely funded quite a few of those, or there might be people who are bringing up ghost nets, Neptune's Army of Rubbish Cleaners, and Fathoms Free, and people like
Who've
that.
just got an award as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great project.
yeah, we've funded projects like that before. So, and there are similar, conservation projects, plastic-free projects all over the country that are generally the sort of people that apply to us.
Yeah.
We don't have a hugely, and we'd love to have a better general public profile, but we don't have, we're not a membership organisation. And most of our fundraising is done with corporates and trusts and foundations rather than individuals. That's not to say we wouldn't love everyone who's listening to this to donate to us. Of course we would, but we don't focus on raising our profile amongst sort of the general public. We haven't got the budgets to be able to do that either, really. So yeah, I think gradually people are getting to know our name.
Yeah.
I think it's worth sort of saying, and it's a bit of an aside really, that a lot of what we do is quite boring. We don't do conservation, we enable conservation. So actually that's why we can do what we do. Our sort of team of volunteers are based right around the UK, and they can all work virtually, and it's very easy for them to do. But they're often doing things like giving out, they're administering grants, or they're assessing grants, or a lot of our time is spent trying to get money in from businesses and from trusts, and to make the argument as to why people should work with us in that way. So I think it's kind of hard to be, although I think what we enable is super exciting. We've got lots of great stories and projects that we've enabled. Lots of what we do is quite boring on a day-to-day basis, and not to minimise it.
Enabling is right, though, isn't it? Because I think, and that is thinking back to when we spoke to Fathoms Free, Luke, and he was saying about it's always the struggle is you've got you've got helpers, you've got an idea, and you've got enthusiasm, but you also want, you can put some money in, and people, that some of them put money in as well, but you can't keep using those people to keep funding the thing. So you want to get funding, don't you? And it's like, well, who does funding and things? And it's good that you've got that. And there must be, is there some other ones out there that you can recall who maybe we wouldn't automatically recognize that as yourselves?
I think the thing that's unique about Sea Changers is that we're giving small grants to small grassroots organisations. Hopefully, quite a lot of those can go on to grow, and that are grant helps them to kind of get started. Often we are the first bit of funding, external funding anyone's ever got. Not always, but we often are. And from there, a group, if it is going to go on and expand, can sometimes go for lottery funding or for other grant funds that are, perhaps a bit bigger and a bit better known. But I think we are unique in the marine conservation focus at that local level, and a lot of those organisations couldn't apply to the bigger trusts and foundations.
Yeah.
Because we're only giving out relatively small amounts of money. Our main grants fund is up to £2,500. So that's the maximum at the moment anyone can apply for in our main fund. Yeah, that's we don't make the application process too onerous or difficult. It's a form that is pretty easy to fill in and send in. And we don't have too many barriers to entry. As I said, we don't fund an individual and pay something into their individual bank account, but
Yeah.
apart from that, they can just be a constituted group of volunteers who've got a little, bank account to get started, and that's the requirement.
Yeah.
Our website has this great link actually. I mean, I won't give it, but maybe you could if you have podcast notes, it'd be really great to do it. But we have this kind of page which is just it talks about the projects we fund and gives like examples of what they might look like. But it has this great map of all our projects, and there's about
Yeah.
500 projects that we funded.
Wow.
And you can sort of click onto each little dot around the country and see what the projects are. And if you are, I mean, if you're a project that's got a great idea and you're thinking, I don't know if we could apply, it's worth going onto that map and maybe having a little click around and seeing what other people have applied. It may be in your area, and then it might make you think, oh, I'll go and chat to them, or I'll get in touch with them, or it might give you ideas of what you could do. I think that is a great resource, and when I look at it, I think, wow, there is a lot of fantastic people doing a huge amount of work around the country, and actually don't need a lot of money to make a huge difference. And that's kind of what I think is really special about Sea Changes is a small amount of money, whether it's 500 quid or £2,500, can have a huge impact in terms of what it can achieve within that community. And sometimes all you need is something just to give people confidence. £500 gives people the confidence. It's like a pat on the back as well as money.
Yeah.
Say, actually, you're good. We believe in you. Go away and do something special, and people do. And sometimes it is just that's all they need to kind of get all the kit they need, or to bring together volunteers to pay for it. It might be to pay for a marquee, or a gazebo, or whatever it is to house a group of volunteers. So it can, the money, the amount of money sometimes isn't the issue, the amount of money, but it's what it enables and empowers people to think,
Yeah.
oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And we've definitely had that feedback, haven't we?
Yeah. And we've spoken to people on the podcast a lot, and it comes down to looking after, your own square foot or your own backyard.
Yep.
And that's where it then kind of empowers people, and it grows into a bigger project and spreads
Yeah.
the word more. So it's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
super exciting. I think that's right, Jim. To me, it's super exciting to think, I did that. You can go to your local coast and think, I did that. We cleared up that area, or we empowered those 50 people to come along every Saturday to do some activity, or we got, the school kids down who'd never been to the beach to do any activity, or to do rock pooling, or whatever it might be. I think there is that definite thing about in your backyard, it can make a huge difference, can't it? To how engaged communities feel.
Well,
Yeah.
just then looking at the map, and it's there's stuff everywhere, and one of the questions I had, which has kind of answered it, was going to be, is it only sea face and type projects? But in Norwich, coast, where are we looking at? Norfolk Wildlife Trust, coastal capers, coastal habitats, education and events, and that dates back to 2013. And you get
Yeah, that's
awarded
one of the first ones we did.
£450.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, we've funded quite a few inland projects, which might sound a bit odd, but sometimes projects come to us and say, we're working with a group of young people who've never been to the coast. and they have no idea. When you talk about conservation, they kind of get it, but they've never seen it. So how can you protect what you've never seen?
Yeah.
And so we funded people to go and maybe pair with a project that's by the coast, spend a bit of time, learn about it. And there's, I mean, to us, there's value in that because those kids come back to Birmingham or Leicester or wherever it might be, and they've got a story to tell, and they know what it's about, and it's kind of
Yeah.
fired their imagination to think, what
Kids have got to
next?
see the sea, haven't they? They've got to see the
They've got
coast.
to, yeah.
Yeah, and you can be landlocked in the UK, but you can't be more than 70 miles away. It's not really that far wherever you are, is
No.
Just couldn't imagine not being able to see the sea.
No, me neither. It's just,
it?
yeah. But then again, there's the rivers and the lakes and the inland
Yeah.
Yeah.
quarries. They all need their protection as well. So,
Mm.
yeah, it's kind of, yeah, really, really good. And are you just UK based?
We are at the moment. We have funded projects in the Channel Islands and Isle of Man. So some of
Mm.
the islands surrounding that aren't strictly part of the UK, but other than that, yes, we're UK based. Think it's possible we might go on from there at some point, but to be honest, we've got enough demand and not enough resources. So yeah, I mean, I don't think well, while we're involved, I can't imagine it ever getting to a global scale. But I guess the next logical step might be either Ireland, I guess,
Yeah.
because we do fund projects in Northern Ireland. Or possibly, I think, there's been some questions about UK overseas territories as
Mm.
well, and that
We'd love
making
to,
good
we
because
would
there's
love
some,
to expand it.
yeah,
It's
we
about money,
would,
isn't it? So,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if we can find if a funder came to us and said we'd like to fund sea changes to be available in UK overseas territories, we'd bite their hand off.
I
Mm.
think just a couple of things. I suppose it's two things in my mind. Is one is sea change, right? We're a safe pair of hands, so businesses or funders know that if they give us money, we give it out responsibly. It's like we're like
Mm.
money in, money out. That's what we do. We
Yeah.
take money in, and we have a grant process which is rigorous and full of good assessment with experts doing that to get the money out in a way that's safe and is evaluated and we know works because we're doing it time and time again. So we know we're really good at it. We know that there's the potential to extend that outside of the UK. But at the moment, Sea Change is primarily run by volunteers. So we literally are money in, money out. We're not paying for big overheads or huge
The
staffing costs
people,
or
yeah.
offices. What the money achieves is it enables us to continue giving grants out. So in order for us to get to that sustainability or expansion on a much bigger scale, we need more businesses and more funders to say, yeah, we'll come on board. I think and we're doing that. We are growing, aren't we? But we need more. So if anybody knows of a business or a funder that would be keen to chat to us, we're always up for a good conversation.
Yeah. So how do you go out and source people to fund or be partners? And what sort of
Uh,
people do you go, is it looking at people that have got that sustainability and environmental view rather than,
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for businesses that are interested, have an interest in the marine environment. So obviously, over the years that's been sometimes it's marine businesses.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes businesses will approach us. But we also do, we're trying to through networking and making connections and reaching out to businesses that we think are a good fit. We're also actively trying to interest people. So it's a bit of a, combination.
yeah.
Sometimes it's, people you know and that you meet and you start a conversation. Sometimes they come across us because of a project. So it's quite varied how businesses have come to us. Um, and yeah, I think initially we thought it would be all kind of marine based
Yeah.
businesses, but it isn't actually.
Yeah.
It can be all sorts.
And they're all really bespoke, Gemma. So they're everything from a very small cruise company who ask their customers to donate to a wine company who a small amount of money for each bottle of wine they sell, Sea Change wine, it comes to Sea Changers, to companies that are involved in helping people sustainably reduce their waste. So they're really varied. We're really keen. I mean, obviously, it's really important to us that any of those businesses are not causing damage themselves. So they need to, in a way, pass our criteria
Yeah.
or our due diligence about, or that they're not having a negative environmental impact, or as little as they can. But they are all people who are really passionate, and I think that could be any sector. It could be, it could be. Not that we're looking at anybody in the bread making sector, but it could be bread making, or it could be scuba suit making, whatever it is. If people are keen, we're open to have a conversation, or have exploratory conversations, and there's lots of those conversations going on at the moment. So it's super exciting. It's an exciting time for sea change at the moment. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to see how it goes.
And you mentioned volunteers. So have you got people that are volunteering for you to kind of assess criteria of people that are applying for grants, or are they sort of experts in other fields?
Yeah, so we have a number of different volunteers doing a number of different things. So I mean, first of all, we're both volunteers. Neither of us gets paid by Sea Changes, so that starts with us. And
Well, I don't
we
think
have
we've
a
got any
board.
particular skills. So.
No, we have a board of trustees who obviously oversee Sea Changes, and they're obviously all volunteers. We have some volunteers who help us with the grants administration. So that's kind of, dealing with the incoming applications, sending out emails saying, thanking people, telling them what the timetable is for assessment, all that kind of thing. We have, and we do have a panel of assessors. So those people tend to be people with marine expertise. So, there might be marine scientists or marine policy experts or conservation experts who will score the grants and decide. So, all of our grants are scored by a panel of people. We have a team of social media people. They're all volunteering. So we've got two people who manage our Insta and Facebook, and we have somebody managing our LinkedIn page. So it's all of that. I mean, the thing that's different about volunteering for Sea Changes is it's not doing conservation. So quite often they are people who feel like, actually I can't get out there and be at my local beach doing stuff, but there's stuff I can do from home. So we have volunteers looking at our IT and helping us with that, and volunteers helping us with all of those kind of things. Our limits are just we can't have the biggest team in the world, because we also have to find time to manage them as well as doing everything else for Sea Changes. So
Yeah.
Super lucky though, and
yeah,
I
we
think
are.
I mean, you'll have found this because you've spoken to hundreds of people over the years where you've been doing the podcast. There are brilliant people out there who are willing to give time and energy and
Yeah.
effort and their brain power, and we're always amazed. We work with a brilliant set of people. We couldn't do what we do, or what Sea Change could achieve, just with Helen and Rachel. It packs a punch because we've got all these brilliant people. Everyone's got their role and doing their part, and they're all amazing. So we're super, super lucky.
Yeah,
How
that's
do
And it
you
is a
keep
real team
everybody
effort.
going in the same direction and not people thinking about doing different stuff under the Sea Changes banner?
How do we do that? Is that
Yeah,
is
how
that
do
the
you keep
question?
everybody, singing from the same sheet?
Good comms. We meet with people regularly. We see people every couple of weeks. We see our social media team. They chat on Slack, and but also we see them every couple of weeks and meet with people. We meet our volunteers fairly regularly, don't we?
Yeah,
So
do. Yeah. People
really good
having
comms.
defined roles
Yeah.
as well. I mean, I think people know, there is each of the people that volunteers for us, they're not sort of having a free for all doing everything that's done. They have a defined role. They might be,
Yeah.
their job is managing LinkedIn, or their job is managing the inbox for info at seachanges.org.uk. There's somebody who's like looking at that inbox every day.
And also, I think
Yeah.
we're quite, if you think about other organisations. So, I mean, we're a small. I'll say smallish. We're a smallish charity in the big marine conservation world. But Marine Conservation Society, they're doing stacks of stuff. Service Against Sewage, they're doing loads of stuff.
Mm.
We've got one really clear thing. We raise money and we give that money out. That's what we do, and everybody
Yeah.
knows how we do it. And so I think in a way we've got a really simple,
Yeah.
a way of, it has to be simple because otherwise I wouldn't get it. But it's a really simple thing, which is we want to enable as much conservation at a grassroots level and community level as we possibly can, and everybody gets that. And so we're all working to a really clear vision, aren't we? Which is healthier seas, healthier shores,
Yeah.
engaging people in conservation in the UK, which is vital because actually the seas really need our help at the moment. So
Mm.
yeah, I think we kept it simple, I think that's the answer.
I think it is the
That's
answer.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you both have day jobs as well. So you're doing this on top of
Well,
your day
we
job.
we we certainly did, they're gradually kind of being pushed into the background of our
Yeah.
lives. No, we both work for ourselves as freelancers. I'm a market researcher, and so I still do some of that. But yeah, to the detriment of our bank accounts, Sea Changes has taken over
Yeah.
gradually.
When we first started, we kind of worked full time, and Sea Change was like the extra curricular activity in evenings and weekends. And as time has gone on, it's totally
Shifted in the
shifted.
opposite direction.
And
That's
so
familiar.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are some months where you think, I do need to do some work now. I do need to do a bit of paid work to pay for the next holiday or whatever it might be. So yeah, it does feel at the moment a bit, the balance does maybe need shifting a bit, but it's great fun. It's like, I'm sure you feel the same about this podcast.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it, you
You'd
do it,
like,
don't you?
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. And you've been both awarded MBEs as well in recognition of Sea Changes.
Yeah, we haven't both,
That's
both have
amazing.
a little bit of embarrassment about it, but it was lovely. It's great
Yeah,
to,
it's amazing.
yeah, it's great to get recognition for doing something like that. I think why it's slightly embarrassing, Gemma, is because actually, as I've said, we couldn't Sea Change wouldn't have been any good without obviously without us in the first place, but without lots of other people. And so you do feel like it's a team of effort, and you want to say to everybody, look, here's your award. You go to
Yeah.
you come to the palace and have it together. But actually, I think for us, it was great to get the recognition. It was a lovely thing, and for our families, and it was more importantly for Sea Changers, it's a kind of a tick to say, yeah, you are. It's like a little stamp saying, yeah, you're proper. You're doing something that's important. So we've worked very hard at not being too embarrassed about it, although we do occasionally just. But it was a nice thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's an
thing.
incredible recommendation, and for the charity as well. It just kind
Yeah,
of an endorsement, isn't it, as well? Yeah.
Yeah, much more
It
important.
does make some of those conversations, I think, happen more easily to have those letters after your name, whether rightly or wrongly that is the case.
Yeah,
You get a medal for that, don't you? Is it them?
you do.
So you went to Buckingham Palace,
Yeah.
and who gave you the actual MBE?
Princess Anne.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was
Cool.
nice. It was nice. It was a nice day. Women get a really big medal. It's like a bow.
Yeah. They're different.
Men get a very sort of streamlined. I don't know what this says here, but men get a very sort of streamlined medal. It's the same thing, and women get a big bow. But strangely, we haven't worn it since. But we obviously still have ours at home.
Yeah, of course.
Did you both get them at the same time?
We did,
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it's nice. They would, when it's not unprecedented of people. I mean, it's nice. We found out afterwards. You don't know you're being nominated. You don't. It's all a big secret. I don't know whether that's the case for everyone, but I think it is. It is certainly is meant to be. And our board of trustees nominated us, but they wrote and said, it's both or neither. Please don't, please don't, please don't cause a massive argument.
Yeah, well, no, it's a great recognition as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's lovely.
Yeah. So what's the future holding for Sea Changes in kind of the next year or 5 years? Have you got plans or?
Yeah, we really have. I think one of the things we really want to do is build sustainability. So whilst there's a lot of fabulous volunteers at Sea Changers doing lots of hard work, a founder-led charity and organisation is not the most sustainable. There might come a point where we decide to go off into the distance with our dive gear and don't want to come back. So, and hopefully that's a way away. But I think what we'd like to do is see changes. We would love to stay involved, but we would love to see changes become completely sustainable and maybe have a small core team that are paid for their efforts
Yeah.
and will carry on. And then we can maybe at some point have a slightly different role, still involved, but slightly different role as well. And we are, as I say, we're growing. So I think if we can carry on that kind of growth um, arc in the right way, we hope that can become a reality over the next, certainly over the next 5 years, Gemma. We'd love to sort of see that small team become a reality. We don't ever want to be a big flabby organisation. We always want to be lean and mean because I think we've always held on to that idea of money in, money out. That's really
Yeah.
important. But I also think that what we do does pack a punch, and it's really important that we have a really good structure to make that happen in a way that is as robust and rigorous as it possibly can, but also is sustainable beyond, beyond Helen and Rachel. And the other volunteers, so a bit of structure to the organisation would be great. So yeah, that more partners,
Yeah,
tiny bit of
more
structure.
income. Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier about, I suppose geographical expansion. We haven't got an explicit plan to do that, but that could be part of the picture, I guess, a little bit of that over the next 5 years. May happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the corporate partners, are they all UK based, or do you consider taking on other people from further afield?
Uh, Quite a few of them are global companies. They work internationally, but I think mostly those that are interested in specifically in UK conservation, it's either their the UK part of a global business or a UK company that is interested, because that at the moment is specifically what we offer to them is to be able to fund and then hear back about um, the marine conservation stories that are happening around the UK. So that's got to appeal to them. So they're certainly not companies that aren't in the UK, but some of them are in the UK and elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are an island at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we've got all this coastline and, yeah, water and shoreline to protect.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dive.
Yeah. And dive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so many people we speak to, on the podcast and face to face, they just think UK diving is a bit cold and it's a bit dark. And we just think, no, it's just so
Yeah.
much to see. So,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that's right. We're really lucky because we get sent loads of images, and when people are doing research, or they're, maybe they fit a webcam to monitor a particular species, or they've done dives to monitor what's happening on the seabed. We get sent great videos and pics, and you look at it sometimes and think, "Wow, aren't we lucky
Yeah.
to have this?"
Yeah.
So close. It is some really beautiful, luxurious. Uh, Environment that we really need to protect.
Hence the need to be able to dive in a dry suit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, so have you got any plans to dive anywhere else in the UK kind of next summer or
We're planning to go up to Scotland near Edinburgh actually in, is it July?
July, yeah.
And we've already got a couple of people who said, "Oh, let's go to St Abbs and
Yeah.
do some
Oh,
dives
yeah,
there."
yeah.
So we're really hoping that comes off, and by then we've got to be proficient and ready to go. So that's our next. That's the actual plan. We've already sort of talked about doing that, but apart from that, no, we haven't. So any good offers from anybody listening that wants
Go
to take?
find them wolfish.
Yeah, St Abbs is great. Yeah. Yeah, and a
Okay.
great cafe there as well on the
Yeah.
harbour, isn't there?
And
So,
Cathedral Rock.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay.
We'd love to dive the chalk reef at Norfolk as well, Ian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've heard great things and seen pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that's Polly's favourite place, that is,
Yeah.
up there at Weybourne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
shame.
there's been a really good season we've just had through the summer. There've been lots of dives on the Norfolk coast, on the wrecks. There's a couple of local wrecks, and then there's Sheringham snorkel trail as well, which,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
non-divers is absolutely perfect. And we've done it once, and yeah, it was really, really full of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Well, loads of ideas. So we know where to come if we need any ideas.
A
Absolutely.
UK tour. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you and even apply for grants, where's the best place for them to kind of have a look? And
Well, obviously our website, and that is it's c-changers.org.uk. That's but I guess if you were to Google Sea Changers, even without the hyphen, although there is a hyphen in it, you'd find us, or marine conservation grants, you'd probably find us in the top one or two for that as well. So hopefully that's pretty easy to find.
But we're also, I mean, we've got, we're covered in social media. So again, if you're on social media and
Yeah.
just Google us on all the channels, you'll find we've got a page and info there as well.
Not all the channels because we're not on TikTok.
We're not yet.
Oh no.
Maybe in another few years, who knows?
Yeah, well, it's the power of social media, isn't it? It's you've just got to be out there doing it, and
Yeah.
it certainly, it makes connections, and it's amazing the people that you do find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
Right then, we better get on to
Some
our set questions.
Okay.
So our first one, if you could take 3 people diving, so this can be an individual effort or a mutual effort. If you could take 3 people underwater, they could be past, present, divers or non-divers, who would you take and why?
Let's do 3 between us.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You start.
So my top one is, and I hope he's listening, Simon Reeve, the broadcaster. I just think he's a really interesting guy, loads to say, really
Yeah.
knowledgeable, really interesting. I'd love the boat ride out, just chatting, and I'm sure we'd have a really great dive. So yeah, I'd definitely have him on my list.
I would go for someone perhaps less well known, but many of your listeners may know, and Dr. Helen Scales. She actually is involved with Sea Changers, and she has been since the very beginning our scientific advisor. So she is a marine scientist who writes books, and they are just the best books about marine creatures and marine habitats. And I love reading her books. I know Helen. We've never actually dived together. And I would love to go diving with her because what she knows about marine species and what happens underwater, is absolutely incredible. So I
Have
love
you been on
talking to her.
telly?
She's on. I tell you where I'm sure she has been on telly. I haven't seen her, but she's on BBC Radio 4 quite frequently.
Yeah, I
She's
know the
great.
name. I was trying to think
Yeah.
how and why I know the name.
She's
Yeah.
definitely worth checking out. Her books are great. Her books are a really good combination of kind of quirky, interesting. You might dive into shellfish or seahorses or creatures,
Yeah.
or and conservation. So
Love the
so
critters.
they tick
Yeah.
all the boxes as
Yeah.
well. She's great.
Oh, I'll look her up, definitely.
Yeah, definitely look her up. She's brilliant. And our number 3, we were chatting about this in the car earlier, and we said that this might be really boring, but we didn't have a person, but we wanted to take a bunch of politicians underwater and in a way say, look what's going on. Now take them to somewhere that's pristine to show them how fantastic something looked, and then take them to somewhere that is not pristine and say, look, what are you going to do about it? You've
Yeah.
seen it firsthand, you've got no excuse. And I do think there is that thing about the water. Water always looks gorgeous on the surface.
Yeah.
And for divers, we know that when you get under the surface, you see what's really going on. So to take some of the key politicians down, there might be 1 or 2 we just want to leave there.
I was going to say that. Do you want to leave any there? We've had other people say that.
Yeah. But yeah, to kind of get some of the key messages across would be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of them wanting to do it, but who knows?
We could take them in a submarine, maybe, or a
Yeah.
submersible.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Good choice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Good choices. So what gets you out of your comfort zone? Doesn't have to be diving, but what gets you out of your comfort zone?
Well, I had dry suit diving on my list as getting out my comfort zone. But for me,
You're both good in that.
okay, that's very
thank
kind
you.
to say so. I think Sea Changes all the time gets us out of our comfort zone because we're not conservationists, we're not marine biologists, we've never done any charity work before, we're not fundraisers, we're just two ordinary people who had a bit of an idea. And I do constantly feel like a bit of an imposter and like, oh my God, what are we do? What are we doing? And so I never ever feel like I know what I'm doing. I don't worry about that. I think, yeah, okay, well, we're obviously doing something right. Um, but I always feel it's a challenge. It's quite exciting. It's a bit seat
Yeah.
to the pants stuff. So for me, sea changes is that in a good way. It's not a like, oh my God, my life isn't horribly stressful. My life is exciting because I'm doing something that is out of my
Yeah.
comfort zone.
Richard, I'll
Mm.
quote from Richard Branson. He said, if you ever get an opportunity, always say yes and then
Yeah,
find out how to do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally agree
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're still
And
doing that.
just keep saying yes.
Yes. Yeah. I said yes.
Yeah. And then our third question is if you had a billboard that the whole world could see, you could put an image, a video, a statement on it, what would you put on your billboard and why?
I think it links to what Helen said about the politicians, really. I think you could do a kind of before and after kind of video. I mean, it reminds me a bit of if you've seen David Attenborough's latest film, Oceans, where he shows different, the same places before or after they've been protected.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. The messages that actually the sea can really quickly regenerate itself. That if we only look after it and protect it and give it a chance, that marine environments will absolutely come back and thrive. So anyone who's seen that film will know exactly what I'm talking about, and I would love to have that on a billboard.
Yeah.
That I mean, there's no one better, is there, than David Attenborough to tell that
No.
story and to get that across.
Yeah.
So that should be, required watching. I know the whole film wouldn't fit on a billboard, but there must be some clips from it that would do the job.
But I do think kind of before, so something a bit of ocean that's kind of is suffered degradation or damage, and then a bit of ocean that actually has recovered is really important because we all need to think there's hope, and actually this is where we can get to. I
Yeah.
don't want to see. I don't want to just see a coral reef that's died or an area that's been dredged. I want to see the possibility because I want to
Yeah.
think, yeah, okay, it's worth me putting the effort in to make the difference. So I think whatever you do on that billboard, and I'd love to see the billboard, it needs to make me think, right, I'm going to work harder, or I'm going to do something, or I'm going to make a donation to Sea Change, or whatever, whatever it is.
You're right.
It
Because I
makes
think otherwise
me
people
want to
won't
get
bother.
involved.
See, there's a point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
There is so much. I mean, that's probably the best thing about Sea Changes for both of us is that it does give you hope. It isn't a miserable thing. It gives you hope because there are so many people out there wanting to do something,
Yeah.
translating their love for the sea into action and making a difference. And they are having an effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many success cases, that we see. We've dived with Lindy Diving, and that's
yeah,
around Lindy. It's a marine conservation no-go
yeah,
zone, and it's absolutely thriving. And and that's only a matter of time that's happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So yeah, hope is a good word. So hope and sort of positive outlook without all this doom
Good
and gloom.
choice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great answers. And we always sort of trying to inspire either non-divers or quite new divers into this world of underwater. What advice would you have for someone that wants to take it a little bit further or, just learn a bit more about this underwater world and the conservation of it?
Yeah. Um, for the practical sort of dive angle, I'd say don't wait. We didn't learn to dive till we were in our early 30s. I wish we'd started when we were, either still at school or just out of school. I definitely wish I'd had another 20 years of 25 plus years of diving. So don't wait, get on with it. Find a great dive school, build a good relationship with them, that you trust them, and then keep learning. In our first few years of diving, I think we had a few moments when we thought, found it diving a bit daunting, but we would then just go on another course. We did our advanced diving. We went through the PANI route. We did our advanced diving, and then we did rescue diving. And then I went on and did my dive master. And I think for us, it wasn't about collecting the qualifications. It was simply about building confidence, learning new skills, never thinking you know it all. So going back and doing our emergency responder course, many times, just to make sure that when we did dive, we always felt confident, but also we always enjoyed it. You meet great people on a dive course and through dive schools. We loved that, and we loved the dry suit training. It's it's a bit daunting to do that,
Yeah.
but actually it was great to hang out for the day with lovely people like you, Ian,
Thank you.
chat and learn new skills, and you're never too experienced or never too old to keep going with it. So even in our late 50s now, I still think we will keep diving for as long as we possibly can. I hope we're still diving when we're in our 80s. Let's wait and see. Plus, we might need carrying into the water then. But I hope we're still doing training qualifications to learn more as well. And I think, and again, you both are divers. I think if you dive, you cannot help but think about conservation because you're
Yeah.
seeing the underwater environment, and wherever you go in the world, you will have seen changes in that environment. If you dived over 10 years, you'll have seen a change.
Yeah.
So you cannot help but be to engage in some way in conservation. So I think for me it is, if you go, we've dived a lot in the Caribbean. There's loads of conservation projects there. We always try and find out what's going on locally, talk to people. If we can spend the day finding out more, we will. Get stuck in on any trip away with a project for a day and learn.
I think the one thing I'd add to that is that it's a bit like asking a question. If you could go back to your 15-year-old self and tell them something, and give them advice. And I think for quite a few years of diving, I was very nervous. I was really, really sometimes frightened in that situation, and that I think I still feel nervous every time I dive a little bit, especially in a new place, a place I
I don't
don't
think
know.
that's a
And I
bad
think
thing.
No, I don't
no,
think so.
and I was going to say exactly that. I think I would go back to that person and say, your nerves are not, being nervous as a diver. I think you obviously, when you first start diving, which is, who you're referring to, you are probably a lot more nervous.
Mm.
But that, first of all, that is normal. That is,
Yeah.
it isn't your environment. It's good to be nervous, to recognize that it can be something to be, to be cautious of and to think
Yeah.
about carefully. But that
We
it will get to a point as well where you can relax, always be alert, but it will get to a
Yeah.
point where it's easier,
yeah.
if you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We on Monday we were at Midlands Dive Chamber
Oh, okay.
with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sally, Carol, Lee, and Spike.
Like, yeah.
And a really great team. We had a really great experience. Totally recommend it to any dive centre. What will go and take a crew of people up there and get that whole chamber experience. And
Yeah.
one of the things that you do as part of it in the chamber, you get to experience, because we went down to 40 meters, and you get to experience a little bit of what it feels like to be a bit knocked a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's good because you get that in a controlled environment, and you've got people right with you.
Yeah.
I've had it before, down at the Hydro Box a couple of times, and Gemma never had it before.
No.
But that was Gemma's first experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and it was great because again, it was in a controlled environment. Nothing's going to go crazy wrong. You're not going to drown or anything. So
No.
yeah, but it was, being around people that are specialists in that field, and we learned so much as well. And
Yeah.
also, you know, more of an awareness of depth, decompression sickness, and just it's not a taboo subject as such, and you shouldn't be ashamed that you're needing a chamber. It's there to help you, and and I think a lot more people need to realize that if they have any doubts, call your local chamber and get seen and get some specialist advice, because it's all free advice as well, and it's all
Yeah.
provided free in the UK, so it's such an important service.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, that sounds
It
really
was. It's
interesting.
good. It was good. A really good experience. But but I just wanted to pick up on your point. That it's good to feel nervous. I think it's good to feel a bit scared, even sometimes. Because I think the worst thing is to be overconfident and almost on autopilot.
Yeah.
when you're about to go diving, even if it's a shallow dive. I think, and I think that brings in complacency as well. Like, what's the point in doing buddy checks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't plan if you're not nervous. I mean, the good thing about going to a site, even if you've dived it
Yeah.
15 times, we still always do a plan and say, okay, what's the plan? How long are we
Yeah.
going to go?
Yeah.
Where are we going to go? What's the depth? We always do that without fail. And I always think, well, that's just good practice. Why would we not
It
do
is.
that?
Exactly.
So I think, we hopefully will carry on doing that.
And I suppose the other thing to say to inexperienced divers is you will have bad dives.
Yeah.
Things sometimes, if you dive a lot, you will have dives that you don't enjoy that much, or that something goes wrong, or that you might, but actually most dives are great dives, but they're not all great dives. And if you have a bad dive, it's not a reason to give up. It's like
Learning
anything like,
point.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
And it's, not being afraid to, call the dive. And we've all been in that situation where
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right and that's it. It's,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
Yeah, but it's always important, 9 times out of 10 to come out of the water smiling and having a good dive. That's what we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. So.
Yeah. And now you've got your dry suits. Yep, there'll be more diving ahead. It's opened up.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Your fingers crossed.
Are you going to try a few on?
Yeah, we thought that's what we'd do is we're gonna rent a few, see how
Yeah.
they feel, and what we prefer, and that's our tactic now is to rent a
Tri-laminate or
few.
neoprene? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to try. Yes. It's a big investment, isn't it? And you don't want to be buying one every year. So you gotta
No.
There's
Mine's
only
on
going to
10
be
years.
one, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you gotta make sure it's the right one.
Yeah, and talking to people about, how they find their suits as well is a good way sort of find out more as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we're lucky. We've got a couple of friends who do a lot of dry suit diving, and they've already sort of given us a bit. Yeah, they've been really open to giving us a bit of a steer and feedback as to what they found useful, what we need to think about and ask about in that process. I think the key thing is we know it's an investment, so we want to get it right.
Do you go dry gloves? Do you go wet gloves?
Yeah, what's the answer to that, Ian?
I personally, I don't mind it in the summer and what have you, but I think over the winter, I think I would go dry gloves. I
Okay.
don't know many people that wouldn't. I don't have that facility on my suit at the moment, but hopefully one day when it comes to changing my suit over, I probably will go dry
Okay.
gloves.
Yeah, and then there's all the thermals. Yeah, different thermals for different weather. But the main thing is, make sure you're comfy and warm and dry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think that's the most important thing, Gemma, isn't it? Give it a dry suit.
Yeah. Well, no, that's been, a great podcast. And we've learned a lot, about sea changes. And hopefully our listeners, will think and maybe look at the website and, can seek some funding for projects that, are only a thought at the moment, but they could be really put into, action.
Yeah, great.
That'd be good.
And I don't quite know when the podcast is going out, but I also just want to make a plug that if people are thinking of the festive season, we've also got a fantastic we have a tea mill store where people can go and buy some amazing t-shirts. In fact, one of the designers is this beautiful Love Kelp tea, which is right behind us. But actually, money from the teas goes to...
Puffins.
All right, stop now. Money from the teas is a great way for people to do something wonderful this Christmas. So buy a really nice tea for people that they love, but also to make a donation to marine conservation in the UK. So I just wanted to make that plug. I know that's shameless.
No.
Well, we can put it out, even if this podcast isn't out prior to Christmas, we can still promote that. That's absolutely fine.
If you want to cut that out, Gemma, I'll understand.
No, well, even not Christmas. Birthday presents.
Perfect. Anytime.
Yeah.
Those
So there you go.
t-shirts go.
It's evergreen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it totally is. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on. Really, it's great to be given this opportunity. It's lovely to meet you both. It's great to have this opportunity to chat to you both about what we do. We love sea change. We could talk all day about it. So thank you for giving us the opportunity of talking for a bit to you both.
No,
you're
thanks
welcome.
for coming on. It was good to dive with you both as well.
Yeah, you too, Ian. We loved it.
Hopefully we'll see you at Stony Cove one day as well.
Fingers crossed. Or
Yeah.
at a park run, Gemma, or at a park run.
Oh yeah, park runs. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Helen and Rachel, thank you for being on the Big Scuba podcast.
Excellent.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, that was Helen and Rachel from Sea Changers. So look them up on the website, sea-changers.org.
Yeah, and just amazing
Dot,
what
dot
they.
UK. Don't
Yeah,
forget the UK bit.
yeah, don't forget that. Yeah, and it's just amazing what they can bring to any organisation, no matter how small they are, with a little bit of funding.
Isn't it weird? Though you kind of, I never expected doing the DM stuff that weekend that I was going to meet, people who are so involved and for
Mm,
been involved for so long, started something from an acorn, and look how it's grown up, over the years. And
yeah,
yeah, well, two MBEs, well deserved.
yeah, it's real recognition of their cause and their passion as well, and they're doing it all unpaid as well. It's all volunteer work.
Yeah, yeah, it's good as well because, like, we've got a royal family, and there's not many countries in the world that have got royal families like what we have in this country, and who are so passionate about green projects and green themes and being,
Conservation.
conservationists as well. So it's good that Princess Anne was there to give them
Mm,
their MBEs, and and people like Fathoms Free got their award, King's Award as well. And that's for all the work that they do.
yeah.
But there's so many other little organizations all dotted around the UK, who are also doing great things, and hopefully they'll get their recognition over time as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it was really, lovely talking to them and just their cause. So yeah, definitely look them up. And yeah, if you've got a project in mind, then have a look at their grant process and application
Yeah,
process.
great for schools and
Mm,
colleges and universities, to get involved in different stuff. Because you think, like we picked out Norfolk Wildlife Trust, 450 quid. Well, that'd be enough to pay for coaches to take school
yeah,
kids who've never seen the sea, to take them to the, seaside for the day.
yeah. And those, little children, those little minds, that can grow into some kind of passion in their future, having
Mm.
seen the sea, just that once.
Yeah. So there's some, lots of things in that conversation to pick out. Um, and especially like the three questions that we asked them as well. So that was good. Good to
Yeah,
have them
yeah,
on.
yeah. So we need to say thank you to our podcast sponsors, Not
Oh,
90.
gotta get it
So
right.
they are Beyond Technical. So
How come
take
I
a look at
can't
their
see
web.
my finger? There it is.
Take a look at their
Not 90.
website. And yeah, they cater for the technical divers, the rebreather divers, but they also cater for the recreational divers. So you can buy, reels, SMBs. Yeah, great for, anything for the diver in your life.
And I know it's time, by the time this comes out, it would have passed, but at the time of recording, they've actually got a sale on, 10% sale on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they do have sales on during, different times.
Yeah, so always check out their website because they'll have it out on the initial page if they've got a promotion on or they're plugging a product. And they also offer a servicing system. So if your dive computer needs a service or it's got an issue, ring Knocked 90 or drop them an email and they've got the advice to help any diver with their issues.
They are the people to know.
Yep. So, and then also don't forget we have a wealth of other episodes, over 200 episodes in our back catalogue. So, where we talk to all sorts of people connected to the underwater world, divers, astronauts, film producers, photographers. So, there's all sorts there to,
We like to look at different ways where diving or some kind of connection is in the sea is there, don't we?
yeah.
So
Yeah. So, and
that's
then
why.
if you've got any guest recommendations or people you'd like to see on the podcast, just drop us a DM or an email, and yeah, we'll make a connection.
Leave us a DM. A very cool way of putting it.
Drop into our social media inbox.
Oh, I say, listen to that. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review where you're listening to us, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, or Podbean, or somewhere like that. So it just helps us get found and helps us all ticking along.
Yeah, so tell your diver friends. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. So there are some films on there from our adventures diving around the UK
Yeah.
through the summer, where we've had camper vans, and yeah, we've been diving Lundy, Farne Islands. So yeah, have a look, and don't forget to subscribe and follow.
Yeah, we mentioned Midlands Diving Chamber on this podcast, so we ought to give them a shout out. And if you are um, wondering what they're all about, make sure you go to their website, and if you're a dive center, make contact with them and speak to them about having a visit.
Yeah.
Because you can have you can, we're no special, so you can as well go and book them up and have a dry dive.
Yeah, makes a good sort of community trip for a dive centre. So I think they can take 12 people in there.
Yeah, I think something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do like sort of two
And
groups.
you can see how your voice changes as well.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, so but you'll have to look at our YouTube channel to find out a bit more about our adventures in the Midlands Diving Chamber.
Yeah. Excellent. Right, I think that's kind of covered everything, I think.
Yep, so thank you for downloading, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. So that was the Big Scuba podcast.